Hi everyone, it's Shauna K. Campbell, and I have my week three, which is Lars and the Real Girl, and it is also on the two books, the Maxwell as well as Shankman Allen, and we had the Law of Connection and the Law of Inner Circle for Maxwell, and then the major topic was flexibility. Well, the one that I chose um, for Shankman Allen's book. We watched Lars and the Real Girl again, as I said, and it was definitely an interesting movie for me in various aspects. It reinforced a lot of concepts that I had with leadership, one of the major ones being that leaders aren't necessarily born, they can be made, and also that leaders don't have to be the ones who are upfront forcing people to follow them necessarily. They just kind of lead by example, and I know that's definitely a leadership concept that I choose to live by. So I thought it was pretty interesting that we got to see that in this movie. And Ryan Gosling's a great actor. He really is a great actor. So I definitely enjoyed that as well. So now I'm going to be moving on to my first major concept, which is the law of connection. In the movie, okay, so for the law of connection, we have many aspects of that. Some of the quotes that I have: when it comes to working with people, the heart comes first. And I believe that was a major part of it for Lars and for the other people. Lars definitely went with his heart. In his mind, he believed that Bianca was everything and then some. Of course, he's not all there, but he definitely believed that. And for other people as well, when it came to working with Lars, his therapist, his family, and so on and so forth, they also had to be cognizant of what he felt and be mindful of that when they made their decisions. Also, focus on them, not you. All the people in the movie basically had to do this at some point in time. They did realize Lars was kind of out there, so they definitely had to change how they were doing things and how they were feeling and focus on what he wanted and not necessarily what they wanted. The tougher the challenge, the greater the connection. I believe this is big for Lars because he spent a lot of time making sure that people kind of understood where he was coming from, but without like forcing them to. He just did it out of habit. So this was a big thing for him as far as getting them to like Bianca and getting them to accept Bianca in the end of it. Okay. As well as the finally, it may sound corny, but it's true. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. This was a big thing for Lars because they definitely went on this a lot. He cared about Bianca very much, so they went off of that. And next, we're going to move into flexibility from Shankman Allen. Being open and adaptive to changing situations is a big thing for flexibility. They were kind of taken aback by Lars's girlfriend, of course, but because of their love connection and because of the fact that they love Lars and they care for him, even when he got in the fight and he was saying nobody cared, and they were like, well, we do care because we're doing all this and we're accepting Bianca because we care about you. So that definitely proved that they were flexible to the idea. And a quote that I took was: for leaders to create commitment among followers, they have to pay attention to what matters to the followers. And that was big because Bianca was everything to Lars, and for them, they had to learn how to accept her. And even Lars used this concept because whenever anything was wrong, and his brother was feeling ill, he said, hey, Bianca's a nurse, so or she has her nursing credits, so that was a way for him to get her involved in the family. and be able to relate, so they would grow more accepting of her and who she was, even if they didn't really understand everything that was going on. And finally, in the matters of style, swim with the current. In the matters of principle, stand like a rock. This was definitely one of the major concepts, or major quotes that stood out to me, because they had to they had to adapt to what Lars was doing and be flexible to it, but they still knew what that in the heart they were looking out for his best interest. So they kind of changed the way they did things, but they were still looking out for his best interest. And finally, we are off to the law of the inner circle. Um, because Lars's inner circle was kind of set for him. It was kind of different, but he still got the whole concept of his inner circle kind of looking out for him and being there for him. The people that were in his inner circle were kind of already there, and they were people who cared about him very much. And it was just kind of like, it was weird because it was said, so it was just like he attracted those kind of people, but it was, I don't know how to explain it. It was, he attracted those kind of people, but he attracted them because of their connection to him. It wasn't necessarily what he was doing that attracted people to him in the sense of Bianca. It was just kind of who he was. So he attracted family and friends alike, and people who cared about him because of his connection to Bianca and how he cared in general. And no leader rides alone is the greatest concept that most leaders will ever learn. You can't do everything by yourself, no matter how hard you try, no matter how knowledgeable you are, no matter how well rounded you are. You can never get anything accomplished by yourself. And do they add value to me and the organization? These people definitely added value to Lars's life in a way that he probably didn't understand at the time, but it came about so that they did add value to his life, and their presence was keen on what he did. So they helped him in ways that he would never understand, but it was definitely for the greater good in the end, because he ended up growing and learning as a person, and it turned around where he was helping them because they got to see things in a different light, and they got to explore something that they never explored before. And even at the end of the funeral, Bianca's funeral, the whole community was there, which is what the last picture reflects. The whole community was there, and they were crying. They had heartfelt, they had tears in their eyes, and they were crying over something that wasn't real. And after they just opened up and accepted it, it just became a real concept to them. And that's it for this week. See you guys next week.